All right, y'all ready for another recap of Married at First Sight? This is episode 4 in Nashville. Let's get it started. In this episode, we see the couples going into their, first night as a couple, and then going into the first day of the honeymoon. So in between that, we see them meeting family and friends and all of the things. So let's go with it. Y'all know I got my notes over here to the side because I don't want to miss anything. And we're going to start with Shaq and Kirsten. So with them, I thought it was cute. He carried her in and she was sitting on his lap and all of that. I thought that was cute. Especially seeing that she don't want to kiss him, but at least she lets him touch her. Now there are some rumors on the side in the chat boxes, in the chat lines, that she did let him kiss her, but it wasn't on camera. So one thing I will say about reality shows is there's a whole production, a whole thing going on. I've seen it for Ready to Love. I've seen it, Love is Blind, all of that are creating narratives about people. So, you have to take what you see as a grain of salt and try to figure out what is going on behind the scenes as well, and the questions they're being asked and things like that. So he asked for a kiss in the room and she said no. So I'm wondering if she just doesn't want to kiss on camera. Is that a thing for her? Because I know some people just don't want to be seen doing certain things in the public, or with their job, or the people like they just don't want people in their business in that way. But then it's kind of like, well, why you sign up for a reality show? Don't know. But they did cuddle in the bed. We did see that. And I thought it was funny that neither one of the black girls grabbed their bonnet when they lay down. So that was just my little tidbit, that neither one of them grabbed their bonnet. But it was really, cute. So they go into day 1 and Kirsten tells them that they didn't have sex. We knew that, girl. We know y'all didn't have sex. Like, if y'all not even kissing, and even if y'all did, you probably wouldn't tell us, because it just doesn't seem like you would. So we know that you did not have sex with him. You don't have to tell us. I don't know why the producers kept that in there, because we already know. We already know. I did think it was interesting in Kirsten's time with Shaq's family that she indicated that she was worried about his time and his schedule. Based upon the conversations that they had about his life, and does he have room for her? So I wonder if that'll be something that carries throughout the season, what his time looks like, and if he really is ready in terms of his lifestyle, and what he has going on to be a husband. Granted, he is finishing his PhD program, so perhaps he'll have more free time as that is finished. So that was interesting. I also thought it was interesting for Shaquille and Kirsten's friends / sisters, I think. They set it up like it was a panel interview. That's how they set up the table when they were talking to him. So I thought that was kind of funny and interesting, because they were grilling him a little bit. So I'm wondering what the rest of the conversation looked like for them. If they laughed, if they had some fun in between, what does that look like? And that's for all of them, really, because we see, it seems like all of a minute and a half of the conversations that are probably 30 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half long in some cases. So you just don't know what's actually happening. I also feel like when Shaquille talks, sometimes I feel like it's always a sermon, and similar to how we'll talk about it a little bit later, about how people present themselves. And I think that Shaquille presents himself very poised and very put together. So I'm curious to just see him laid back and not in I knew this was meant for me because God sent these signs and, you know, all this type of stuff. Like, what is he just on a regular basis? Like, what are you talking about? What are you into? I'm really curious about that. And they both mentioned after the time with their family and friends that they're both kind of prideful and hide or keep things from families so that family and friends don't worry about them and things like that. So it's really interesting because we know, like, sometimes we do opposites attract, and then it seems like this season they picked some people who are similar. I think there needs to be a balance. It needs to be a balance for people being like totally dissimilar and totally completely alike. And it feels like these two are really alike. So they're going to have to be using the same type of tools, trying to figure out how to get out of their head, per se. So I'm really curious about that. And then the other thing was Shaq telling Kirsten about the research conference and that she was going to have to miss a day in Jamaica because he has to do work in Jackson, Mississippi. And I don't know, because I know they found out last minute about Married at First Sight. So I know he couldn't change something that he probably signed up for months before. And it's not like he could change the wedding, and that would have been kind of weird too. But that was just an awkward conversation, and I don't know how I would have handled it. You know, because you're looking forward to it. You just got this box about Jamaica, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're going to Jamaica. This is so cool. He's like, hold up, you're going to miss the day. I probably would have asked the producers if we could have an extra day in Jamaica. And say that on it, or like I'm gonna pay for us to have an extra day in Jamaica. Like, I thought that would have been cute. But that's something to think about for them. That was just a lot. And that's different than what you would want to do. And granted, I know that that moment where she was in the hotel by herself, I wonder how long, like, I think she went out and did something. I'm like, there's no way you could just sit in a hotel by yourself the whole time. So I'm curious, you know, what that experience was really like for her. And thankfully, from what I understand, it was just one day. So hopefully they get to enjoy their trip from Jackson to Jamaica. But that's pretty much what I have for Shaq and Kirsten. It's just interesting. Nothing really stood out except for the fact that she's worried if he has time for her. And then, of course, right after that, he ends up telling her that that they're going to miss a day of the vacation because of his schooling. And then, you know, this attraction thing, just seeing if that kind of flows through eventually. So that's them. All right, next is Dominique and McKinley. All right, so we didn't see them come into the hotel room, which is something that I thought was interesting. They kind of just panned to them having conversations about snoring and body pillows. So I'm curious what they're like, what they really have in common. It was nice that Max said that he was very attracted to Dominique and that she's gorgeous and sexy and, you know, all of that type of stuff. Did y'all see the Married at First Sight champagne? I saw it, especially in this room, so that was cute. They had, you know, a cute little goodnight kiss, and it looks like they may have cuddled a little bit that first night. So that was good. And it was nice the next day to kind of see this. They seem happy so far. She's smiling. He's smiling. They seem to be in a good place. So that's really good. You can also tell that they have some, like they give these couples a question bank of questions to ask. Because they're asking questions and discussions about the same thing. Like, what is your schedule like? Or, what are your routines? Like, they were all kind of asking similar questions. So you could tell the producers give them things to talk about in the morning that they have to touch on throughout their conversations. So with Mac, he met Dom's mom, grandma, and aunt. And he wants to know about her. Like, he asked them about Dominique. And they went right into, well, no, we want to know about you. And it was just interesting because if Dominique's mom really signed her up for the show, put her on, told her, like, you need to go on the show and you need to go on the show, then why are you so hard at this? Like, why are you being so hard on him when you're the one that signed her up to meet a stranger? Knowing that the stranger could be white, the stranger could be Asian, Hispanic, anything other than black could have happened, right? Especially if Dominique mentioned that her preference is white guys. If her daddy white, why not, right? So that was just a little bit irritating to me. I'm hoping that in another section of the conversation, they had a little more chats about things that he should know about Dominique as he enters into a marriage with her. So that'll be good. Also, Dominique got to talk to Mac's best friend, sister, and mom. And overall, they seem friendly, but the mom is kind of like, all right. And they are catching her RBF. Y'all know the RBF. Y'all know that's the RBF. And I thought that the mom's question about what if he wanted to move back to Michigan was very interesting. Because, he's on the show for Married at First Sight Nashville. Not Married at First Sight and then moved to Michigan. He's in Married at First Sight Nashville. Now, if you want to be a couple together that says, you know what, Nashville's not for me anymore, let's go to California or something like that, then do that. But they're in Nashville. Why are you asking someone who's been married to this man for one day if she would ever move to another state just because her husband wants to move? You don't ask that. That's giving me SK vibes from Love is Blind. Like, bruh, I'm not moving to California with you. I just married you. Like, we just got together. I'm not moving. So I just think that's interesting. So we'll see if that becomes part of the plot line, because we know in the previews, it looks like she's moving out. So we got to see what's triggering that. Is this the whole thing about him being, not from Nashville? I don't know what that looks like. So we'll see that. And then I thought it was interesting that on the way to the honeymoon, he was just talking that stuff about how he wants first class. I didn't see him as a bougie type of person. And then Dominique told the story on the after party that they ended up not even being able to sit with each other at some point because he was trying to upgrade the tickets and accidentally canceled them. So then he was lucky he got back on the plane and they got to Jamaica. They just couldn't sit together and they couldn't have first class anyway. So it's just like, my dude, it's gonna be okay. You don't need first class for this trip to Jamaica. You'll be all right. I didn't take him as a bougie person, but apparently he is. So that was Dominique and McKinley. All right. Jasmine and Eris. Jasmine and Eris. Now, y'all know, they were the couple on paper to me when I did predictions that I said they would make it, but I don't know. I don't know about them. I really don't know. Like, I was thinking, like, I was feeling him a little bit in the previews and how he was talking to the experts and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, this could work. But now I don't know. I really don't know. So, one, he did not carry Jasmine into the room. I thought that was interesting. When you saw some of the other couples do it, he kind of just was like, came on in the room. I did think that Jasmine picked a cute little first night pajama set. That was cute. It was, nice and sexy, but not too much, where it's like, it wasn't, oh, you gonna get some tonight, but it also wasn't, oh, this is what I would wear on a girl's night. So I thought it was giving. It was giving. And she didn't wear a bonnet either. So I guess the black girls was like, we're not gonna see the bonnets on TV. No. It's not gonna happen. And they did some cuddles. So that was cute. Like, it looks like she was sleeping on him or laying on him. So that was, a cute sign. All right, so then when they wake up, this is day 1 as a married couple. And Jasmine said his cuddle game was a 9. A 9 out of 10. So that was cute. She said, it was all right. It was a 9. And you can see Eris when he got his do-rag. See, the girls weren't playing, was playing about their hair. But Eris was like, y'all not going to go see me with these waves. So I thought that was interesting. I really want Eris to talk more about his diet, because I'm very curious what it actually is. Like, is he vegan, pescatarian? Like, what is he? Because he was, and why? Is he just one of those people that, is it a religious thing? Is he like Muslim? Or is it just a decision? Because he was kind of shading her about eating bacon. And I also want to say that Eris, I believe, was the only man that did not go grab the fruit cart, the breakfast tray in the morning. And it's not a good thing. So that was that. And the cousin, she was just getting on my nerves. And when she met with Jasmine, it's clear the producers are like, yes, this is what we want. We want to cause doubt and destruction and all that type of stuff. And I'm not feeling that. I wanted to hear more from Mom. Mom was just smiling and she seemed really nice. I wanted to hear more from Mom, honestly. So producers, we don't want to hear from the snobs. We want to hear from the people that support the marriage. Okay? Also, Eris met Jasmine's mom, brother, and dad. I like Dad's wisdom about letting each person be who they are. I thought that was really good. I really liked him. They seemed to have a nice, chill conversation. And Eris said on the after party that they took selfies together and stuff like that, and he could see himself, being around Jasmine's dad. So that was good. And the other thing about Jasmine's conversation with the cousin and them was that they kind of think Jasmine's all talk, because the cousin asked her a question about, do you feel like, when was your last relationship, or when did your last relationship end? Jasmine said, like 8 or 9 months ago. And she said, and you think you're ready already? Like, what makes you ready? And Jasmine said, look, just because there's a time frame doesn't mean, like, relationships end before they actually end, pretty much is what she said. And, she said it in a poised way. And Jasmine, Eris's cousin was kind of like, that's such a pageant answer. Like, you are really a pageant girl. And I'm just like, you have to be shady. So I'm hoping that if Jasmine and Eris were to make it, that she wouldn't be shady the whole time. Like, eventually warm up. And Eris also said that Eris said that the cousin has not really seen him in the relationships that he has been in because he was in California. So that's just a point there. When Jasmine got back in the room, Eris was on the computer. I'm wondering what he was doing. That was just me being nosy. And Jasmine went and got her hair done. She was like, yeah, I'm about to go get me some braids. So I thought that was cool because, you know, Black girls and vacation hair is very, very important. And then, okay, when they got to the place, the hotel, the resort, and Eris got in the daggone swimming pool, the jacuzzi, got into the jacuzzi in their room and asked her to feed him grapes. Excuse me? No, honey. No. It would have been cute if he was like, come on, get in. Let's see if we both fit. You know, something. I don't know. He's just right now he's giving me a cater to me vibe where he wants the woman in his life to cater to him 100%. So enough of them. We have 2 more couples left. Clint and Gina. So Clint even carried Gina in the room. So I'm like, if Clint could carry Gina in the room, I know Eris can. Come on now. And I like they said their family's vibe, so that was good. And Gina keeps changing her mind about like how attracted she is to Clint. That just confuses me. Like, are you attracted to him or are you not? Stop lying to us. Because she said he was easy on the eyes. But then, you know, later she's like, well, he's not really, you know, the type that I would normally go for. I don't know, Gina. Just let me know. Gina's dress is really beautiful. Like, the shot that they had of him unbuttoning her dress and seeing like the detail, that was a beautiful dress. That really was. That was really beautiful. And then Clint was just like, the dude was turned on just taking off her daggone dress. So they didn't have sex, but we'll see kind of how that plays out over time. And, you know, Jamaica makes the people crazy. And you could tell that they're both very charismatic people going into the next day. And Clint met with Gina's sister and brother and somebody else. I can't remember who. And one of the things that, Clint met with Gina's sister and brother. And the brother mentioned that Clint and Gina are very similar. So I'm kind of curious on how that will play out. Also interested on how Gina's, you know, being a workaholic versus Clint kind of being a little bit more full, like him having a full life, how that will impact their marriage. And Gina kept talking about how she grows in attraction. And that basically, when you say I grow in attraction, that means that you don't think he's that cute. And Gina ain't know the Jamaican flag. She was like, what is that? Like, boy, you going to Jamaica. For somebody who says they like to travel and you don't know the island, like the main islands that are close. But, I mean, he showed me some flags. I probably wouldn't know them either. So, whatever. It's not a big thing. But that's really all I have for Clint and Gina this time. And then we'll go to Chris and Nicole. So, Chris and Nicole are mad comfortable. We saw their night of the wedding last week. But them waking up, they're like really comfortable. One thing they talked about was that Chris is really early and Nicole can sometimes be late. So we'll see how that plays out. Chris also told Nicole that she's a natural beauty. And I really hope that he's for real. He seems very genuine and real. And I hope that's true. And going into Nicole meeting his family, his parents are kind of saying, like, man, he is just a genuine kind of guy, and I don't want you to hurt him. Like, please don't hurt my son, brother. You know, that's kind of where they were coming from. So I think that we see that he's really here for the right reasons and that he really wants to find love. And, you know, with Chris's meeting, he met Nicole's mom, dad, and uncle. And you can see how similar Nicole and her dad probably are, just with their personality and just being out there. So, you know, I like that. It was nothing too big, except Nicole's father being like, well, serial killers are nice. Oh man, so I still have hope for them. Thought it was cute that Nicole was asking him about, are they gonna have sex on the honeymoon? Was asking Chris, we gonna have sex on the honeymoon? She ready. So that was cute. Also, I thought it feels like Nicole and Chris are the first to go deep vulnerable. And I hope that serves them well. And she talked about how an ex-boyfriend, it seems like maybe when she was a teenager or something, burned her with a cigarette, as a way to show, like, if you love me, let me burn you with a cigarette. And I know a lot of people, like, I'm watching it, watching some stuff and reading some things about the show, and I'm seeing, I would never let somebody burn me, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes when you're 16 or 15 and somebody says something to you, like, sometimes you can let people do things that you shouldn't. But it was important, and one of the things she said is that she's healed from it and has moved on from it. So I hope that she continues to be emotionally ready. And it seems like Chris is thoughtful. Like, his response to that was really thoughtful and understanding versus being harsh, so I really like that. I liked his response, and the fact that he's a good listener. So I think that serves them well. So I'm curious to see kind of how they'll vibe. Hopefully they won't be toxically connected, in terms of, like, I'm connected, I'm like so emotionally into each other that they ignore red flags or anything like that. I hope that they're connected to each other in a meaningful way and really allowing each other to grow and holding space for each other without holding each other hostage. You know what I mean? So that was Chris and Nicole. And I know this went by long because I had a lot to say. But it was cute. I also wanted to mention it was cute seeing the couples meeting each other and seeing each other's husband and wife. I thought that was cute. So I'm also interested, and I'll have, maybe depending on how the next episode goes, separate sections about all couple moments. So if they have like a group dinner or something like that, we'll chat about that too. So yeah, Married at First Sight episode 4 is in the books. We're now going to 90-minute episodes with the 30-minute after party. So at least we won't have to sit for so long to watch it. So I am glad to talk to you all every week, and I will see y'all next week.